What's going on, Hokie Nation? Welcome into this week's Triumph Spotlight. Our guest today is grad transfer forward on the Virginia Tech men's basketball team, Robbie Beran. An in-state guy out of Richmond, Robbie spent 4 seasons at Northwestern before transferring here to Virginia Tech. Robbie Beran joins us next on this week's Triumph Spotlight. As always, Hokies fans, today's show is brought to you by Triumph NIL. The Triumph Digital Network is a fully integrated portal featuring individual channels for Robbie Beran and all of your favorite Hokie athletes. Visit triumphnil.com for exclusive engagement, merchandise, and content opportunities, as well as subscriptions. All right, I think some introductions are in order. I'm your host, Giovanni Heater, joined alongside David Cunningham, managing editor here at Tech Sideline. Nick Brown is producing behind the scenes, and of course, the big man, Robbie Beran, is in the house. Robbie, how you doing today?
I'm doing well. Appreciate you guys having me on.
Yeah, appreciate you being here. Well, let's kind of start here. Dude, basketball season is right around the corner. It's that point in time where we're just starting to get excited for hoops. How are you feeling? How's the team feeling?
Oh, I'm feeling great. You know, like you said, you blink and basketball season's upon you, which is cool. Obviously we're not a finished product yet, and that just takes, day by day. But, I think we're good, coming off fall break. We're well rested, and really ready to, kind of scrimmage somebody else. We beat up on each other every single day. Like, we're just looking for that new blood.
How have your first few months at Virginia Tech been? They've
been great. It's a great community here, and just love Hokie Nation. Everybody's been super welcoming, welcoming me with open arms, and yeah, it's been just like a seamless transition. Just feeling at home. Feeling at home with the guys, and just allowing myself to allow my personality to really show.
Virginia Tech's had some successes under Mike Young, obviously an ACC championship, a couple of trips to the NCAA tournament as well. You had the opportunity to play in the big dance last year with Northwestern. What was that experience like, just to kind of be under the lights and be in a big stage?
It was a really great experience. Something that, obviously every kid dreams of, watching March Madness every single year growing up, to actually be able to, be on that stage. And, it didn't come easy. Over my 4 years, obviously we went through some ups and downs. And then obviously, ultimately, ending with the, tournament berth last year.
What went into your decision to transfer, and take us through the transfer portal? What was that like? I'm sure it was a little bit hectic for you.
Yeah, most definitely. I think this is a current, climate that is constantly evolving. Obviously with the transfer portal getting tweaked, every couple years, trying to find a good balance. So, we're still learning a lot about it. For me, everybody's transfer process is different. For me, it was kind of, again, it's personal. So, going into it, I actually graduated in 3 years. So coming out after my junior year, I could have transferred. But, I had a feeling, that with the group of guys that, we were so close, trying to get over the hump of a couple games short, from the tournament. And so really, I just want to come back for my 4th year to Northwestern, so last year, to get over that hump, to close out games, playing young, we had to learn how to win, and, winning is hard at the college level. So I'd say really, sorry, I blinked.
You're talking about just what went into your decision to transfer.
Yeah, and so like I said, I had the opportunity to leave, but wanted to get to the tournament. Wanted to accomplish, a feat that had previously only been done once, before we did it a second time. And so, once after the season, kind of sat down and talked to, kind of my family and support staff, and really trying to figure out what's my best, plan of attack for 1 year. In the transfer process, a lot of different people, have different years. So in this situation, coaches recruiting me, knowing that I only had 1 year to play. So it was more of an intentional, focus, and I was able to, kind of attack it, bluntly, not worry about, the fluff, just be this is what I'm looking for. How can you guys help me? And in the recruiting process, you talk to a lot of different people. You build the relationships. I reconnected with a lot of the coaches that recruited me out of high school, which was cool to kind of see the jumps that they've made, in their career as well, or if they're just staying at the same spot and they're building, something there. So that was kind of a little bit into my transfer process. But yeah.
What about Virginia Tech? And I know you and Coach Young had a little bit of a relationship from his time at Wofford. How did that kind of play into it?
Yeah, absolutely. And kind of if you follow, Virginia Tech, men's basketball, obviously, Grant was kind of in a limbo last year. So that, coach was honest with me, before when he reached out, said, hey, like this is where we are. Obviously, we'd love to have you if, the spot is there. And obviously just had to fall into place. Something about Virginia Tech that was drawn to me is the relationships that I have, all three of the assistant coaches and Coach Young as well, recruited me from a different school, coming out of high school, and now, 4 years later, they're all under the same staff at Virginia Tech, which is not common at all. But Coach Webby was here under Buzz's staff. Coach JD was at VCU and recruited me there, and then Coach Giltner and Coach Young were at Wofford.
How important was it for you to come back here home in a way? I know you're a Richmond guy, but playing in Chicago at Northwestern, now you get to come back to the state of Virginia. And did that play a role in your decision making at all?
I would, if I sat here and I said like, no, it didn't play into any factor, I think I'd be lying. It definitely is nice to be back home. Over the summer, my sister got inducted into her high school Hall of Fame. So I was able to go back and really support her there. I was able to go to a friend's graduation party and just being back in the area and allowing me to kind of have access to those things. So it's been cool. I wouldn't say that I made the decision based, on proximity, because like you said, Richmond's 3 hours, but to play, back at the, in the Commonwealth, it's great. It's a great opportunity. It's a great place to, play in the ACC, where, kind of family is able to kind of see me all over the in conference.
Pretty unique connection that your sister is in VCOM here.
Yeah.
How cool was that when you were just looking at different schools? You mentioned the relationships you had with the guys on staff, but how cool is it like when you finally got a chance to come and visit that you got to see your sister too?
Yeah, that's super. My sister's my best friend. We're so close in age that we bicker a lot, but at the end of the day, like I know she has my back. And so in this process, obviously, I know she wants me to come here. Like, she's not gonna, she was good and let me kind of have my decision and make it. But just having her, living in Christiansburg, 20 minutes away, I could see her, much more than just once a week or not once a week, once a year, rather, on holidays, when I was living in the Midwest. But so that different element has just been, I can't put words to it, honestly.
Robbie, let's take it back to the hardwood a little bit here. What do you add to this roster?
Yeah, I think I'm an older presence. I'm 23 years old. Played in a lot of college basketball games, and I think first and foremost, that's kind of what kind of I'm bringing. I'm an older guy, seen some things, and I can share some things. On the court, with my skills as well. Obviously stretching the floor, pick and pop, attacking bigger guys off the dribble, as well as punishing a mismatch down low. But really wherever needed, kind of just trying to be that versatile piece, kind of like a Swiss Army knife. And then on the defensive side, guarding 1 through 5, wherever's needed, and really just being attentive on that side of the ball.
You were very consistent on the defensive end last year. What do you enjoy so much about playing defense, and where did you learn to be such a good defender?
Whoa, I think appreciate you calling me a good defender. I don't know how many people would call me a good defender. I would like to think I'm a good defender, but a lot of it has been picked up over the years. A lot of it is angles. I think defense is a lot of that is effort and angles. So and I feel like I'm able to use kind of my body and position in a way to get an advantage. And obviously defense is playing at a disadvantage because you're reacting, but if you can kind of dictate and make your impact, I feel like you have a good side on that ball.
Robbie, you talk about how there's this new era of collegiate athletics, right? And so many moving parts, pieces being added and taken out year after year. What do the other transfers and newcomers add to this squad around you?
Yeah, Makai, very similar. Obviously a fifth-year guy, played in a lot of basketball. Kind of gritty. Does a lot of similar stuff. And then kind of if we play similar, or we play in the same lineup, a lot of kind of switching, and having that kind of versatility. And then T-Nick, transferring in from UNC, can really shoot it, can really score the ball, and is a really good piece that can provide a lot. When we were overseas. I think he had 5 or 6 threes like in one game, as he was hot. And so that's what makes us really dangerous. I think one person could kind of explode, at any given night. And defenses have to respect that.
What has this partnership with Triumph NIL been like? How did that kind of come about? And you've been in college for a long time. How have you seen NIL kind of just transform college athletics?
Yeah, I think NIL has transformed college athletics a lot. I think a lot of people sitting, kind of at home will see like, oh, pay to play. But a lot for me, seeing what you could do in school, kind of with the compliance rules to now essentially levels the playing field. As an individual like myself, I'm able to kind of profit off my name, image, and likeness. Or if I had a YouTube channel, I don't. I wish I could plug my YouTube channel, but I don't. But NIL just kind of gives that an opportunity. And kind of working alongside Triumph, they've been a huge help. Kind of seeing opportunities that I might have missed on the horizon that allows each individual to build their own brand. And it's not like a one thing like overnight. Obviously it takes time, and I think the resources that Try and provide is definitely big for college NIL. It's a brand new space. We're still learning a lot of the ins and outs, and just having that resource, you're not alone.
Triumph told us that you're kind of such a go-getter. Every time they present something to you, you're all over it, excited to do it. What does all this mean to you to be a representative of Virginia Tech basketball, the university, the Blacksburg community? What does all that mean to you?
There's been a lot of people that have gotten me to where I am today. Nothing that I did, by myself, and just to be in a position to be able to provide and give back to individuals, similar to my position, as well as kind of those that are less fortunate. I love working with charities and in Chicago we do a lot of stuff with like boys and girls clubs and just hooping with kids. And obviously I remember looking up to college athletes and just being like, wow, I didn't even think I would be, on this stage. So to be here and to have this platform, I just kind of feel like an obligation. I love doing it. So it's like I say an obligation, but I have like that drive to just help people, to see people smiling. I went to the Heart Walk on Saturday, and just to see, kind of, there's probably like 67 people there, and supporting for a good cause, and raised close to, $2,000. And that's, life-saving money. And I just I get to play basketball. I get to play a child's game. So to be in my position, I just feel, like I should give back.
As far as basketball is concerned, what are your expectations for this group this year? What do you feel like your guys' ceiling is?
Yeah, I don't, I'm not putting a ceiling on us, because I truly believe in the locker room. And, that's one of the reasons why I came here. I got around the guys, and, I wouldn't come here if it put me in a bad position. And, obviously it takes time and effort, and it's not going to be, tip off against Coppin State. It's not going to be our final ball. So if we can just kind of continue to get better and improve, up and through, March and into April, that's obviously the goal. But yeah, just getting back to the tournament. We missed a couple years, missed it last year, but I think we had the pieces. I think we have a good blend of young guys, old guys, new guys, to provide a new life and get that over the hump.
Who on this team could maybe surprise us that isn't exactly on our radar in 2023, 2024?
I would need to look at your radar because coming into this locker room,
It's a good answer.
and seeing I've been really pleased by everybody. Kind of Sean, taking that jump, from a junior year to senior year. I think. Again, it wasn't in the locker room last year, but just kind of his vocal, and maybe we bounce off of each other, and kind of he holds me to a standard and I hold him to a standard, talking wise. But again, I feel like Sean is on the radar, but there's a lot of people, MJ Collins, just playing really good ball, playing a really good brand of ball on both ends. But again, I think he was on the radar too. So it's hard for me to say who's not on the radar. But there's a lot of people that are primed for a good season.
I know this is your 5th year playing college basketball. I'm sure when the schedule comes out, you kind of just look at it and go, all right, this is cool, but like this is a lot to process. I just got to go out and take it one game at a time. But when you saw this schedule come out, did anything stand out to you this year?
It's, like you said, I've played it, fifth year of college, you can't look too far ahead. It's, you got to look at one game at a time. Because, if you start looking ahead, if you start, okay, let me look past, 2 or 3 opponents, like that's, when the trap game gets you, that's when, you get caught off guard. So, really taking the same preparation, same approach to every single game, whether it be, early, exhibition game to Final Four, March Madness, national championship game.
Is there any excitement level to be like, hey, let's switch it up a little bit? You got your big dogs in Michigan State and Michigan and Ohio State and some of the great schools in the Big Ten, of course, but then now you get to play Duke and Carolina and Syracuse and Louisville and all these, iconic basketball programs as well that maybe you grew up watching, especially living on the East Coast.
Yeah, I'm super looking forward to it. I love playing at home, and I've heard, nothing but great things about the environment at Castle, but, there's no better feeling of going on the road and stealing a win, and making everybody leave the gym mad. So I do enjoy going on road trips. I will say, I think being in the ACC, going to these new places for the first time, me and the freshmen are going to be, eyes wide open, looking around, on the shoot around. So I'm excited. I'm looking forward to it. Like you said, change of pace, change of scenery. It should be good.
I know you're a big dog guy.
He's got that dog in him too.
Tell everybody about your dogs and how important they are to you.
So we had 9 family dogs.
What?
Yeah, so 9 family dogs. I live with 3. We got a 5-pound Chihuahua. His name's Smokey. At Robbie Beran is on Instagram. And then Stella is another. I rescued her. This would be my 3rd year having her. And then Ivy is a golden retriever that she's 1.5, still in her puppy demon phase, but love her. She's just a smush. And then so my sister has 2 dogs, Skell and Surge, who are rescues. My mom has 3. Who Summit, who's a rescue, kind of like lab mutt mix. Spike, who's a Jack Russell, and then Daisy, who's a beagle. She was our grandmother's dog that we took in once she had hip and knee surgery. My dad has a black lab. Sorry, I promise you I'm almost done.
No.
And then my
going.
dad has a black lab named Bud. He's a 100-pound, black lab, just full of energy.
Lots of dogs.
Yeah, lots of dogs.
Who watches Smokey and the gang when you go on the road?
It's changed, over the years. My sophomore years, like it was COVID year. And the one good thing about COVID is allowed me to have a dog at school for my sophomore year. And so when I was at Northwestern, a couple of my coaches, wives, would watch Smokey, when we would go. And then, my roommate's girlfriend, or I guess I should say now fiance, watched. So I had kind of some built-in babysitters. My girlfriend, whom I live with, will, kind of watch them and man the ship while we travel.
That's fantastic, man. Time for a speed round, David?
Yeah, sounds good to me.
All right, let's do it. So we're going to do like kind of a speed round here, rapid fire, and these are like more fun, lighthearted, goofy type questions. So I guess I'll lead us off here. Your pregame playlist. What are you listening to before a ball game?
You can't miss. Rod Wave doesn't miss. So
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Any other artists on there? You got any like order? Like for instance, Malachi Thomas, running back on the football team, came out and he was like, "I always start with Run This Town by Jay-Z."
Okay.
Like,
not really. There's
Okay.
not really like I don't have like a set. Obviously I have a playlist that I'll listen to Lil Durk, Lil Baby, the traditional. But I'm a big Rod stan. Like Rod does not produce. He doesn't miss. So if I throw on green light, anything, get me in the zone to hoop.
there we go.
Do you have a favorite Mike Young quote so far?
Podcast appropriate, not sure. But I think the biggest, maybe not podcast appropriate, but come back to me and
Can you do a Mike Young impression?
no, you don't want.
Is there anybody on the team that can? I'm sure Hunter might be able to.
Hunter can do it, in his sleep. He's been around since I don't know, but my favorite Mike Young quote would probably, I won't say that.
Nah, I really want to hear this off the air.
It was what we talked about before, like just like the
Yeah. Understandable. We'll leave it there. So I don't know if you realize, but there's this whole thing at Virginia Tech, Enter Sandman. You might not have heard of it. It's a pretty big deal. Have you had the opportunity, obviously not yet as a player, to experience it, whether it was on your visit here when you were playing basketball or football or any sport for that matter? Have you done the whole Sandman thing yet?
I have. I've been able to attend to the football games, this fall and just experiencing it. When I would go to the Northwestern games, I lived right across from the stadium, so I'd walk over, and sometimes I'd miss like kickoff, and I'd get there like middle of the first quarter, second quarter. But before the first game, I was like, I can't do that. I got to be there like 15, 20 minutes before, like just waiting, like and obviously I didn't miss it, so. It's been great.
That's awesome. Did it give you the chills?
It did.
Yeah.
And obviously, I've heard about it in Castle. I've heard that's electric. I'll probably just, come Coppin State. I'll experience it for the first time, but super, super stoked for that.
Is there a uniform combo you're very excited to wear?
Nah, anything with the Hokie Bird. I think... What's it called? We just had media day in the orange. The black, the black, all blacks with the VT is pretty hard. So I'm excited to rock that. I think honestly, I'm excited to wear all the threads.
What's your go-to spot to eat here in Blacksburg so far? This is an NIL opportunity here. You feel free to plug. We need the Robbie Beran burger.
So I mean, I live like right off Clay, so Mellow Mushroom is a big staple. Like every Friday night, I'll be like, oh, like what do you want for dinner? And it's like I shouldn't even ask at the point. It's Mellow Mushroom on Friday, but I would say that when I first got here, I my sister took me to First Watch, and I thought it was like, I didn't know it was a chain, but I thought it was really good. And I was like, oh, that's my favorite spot in Blacksburg. And my sister was like, they're going to disown you.
I believe, if I remember correctly, when we talked after you committed, did you guys go to Mel Mushroom on your visit?
We did, yes.
There you go. The Blacksburg's table for Robbie. What about your teammates? What teammates have you gotten really close with since you've been here?
I think, a cop-out answer is all of them. Basketball being such a small locker room, we interact kind of, I would say, on a more consistent basis than maybe a football. Think about like a position group, how close they are. I would say basketball team is similar to that. So whether that be a Friday night, Saturday night, watching college football, just chilling, at somebody's house or apartment. But yeah, obviously Hunter, overseas, we room together and just kind of connecting on some old head stuff, has been pretty good.
Pretty cool. If you had to pick your favorite Hokie effect for Castle Coliseum, you want to see the maroon out, the orange out, or the black out's pretty good too. Usually they do it on Big Monday too, I feel like. Last couple of years, what's your go-to?
I think blackout would be kind of cool, you know, like dress up for a funeral.
I like it.
But yeah, I'll say blackout.
All right.
How do you want to be remembered at Virginia Tech?
Yeah, there's been a lot of people to put on the Hokie uniform, you know, before me and after me, and for me, it's all about, you know, kind of holding that standard and maintaining that. Yeah, there's just been so many great players. I would say, you know, I wouldn't say that I'm trying to, you know, leave a particular legacy, but continue theirs, and allow, you know, kind of the foundation to. It's been set and it's been, you know, kind of in progress, but to kind of solidify that and keep the trajectory, you know, kind of pointed at as it's going. And yeah, not trying to, you know, do too much. Yeah, I'd say that's kind of I want.
Just ball.
Yeah.
Robbie, man, you're fun. You're down to earth. This was one of my favorites to so far this year. So thanks so much for your time, man. Really looking forward to seeing you hoop just a couple of weeks away here, about just under a month.
Soon. Yeah, here we go.
All right. Well, thank you for David Cunningham, for Robbie Beran, for Nick Brown behind the scenes. I'm Giovanni Heater saying so long from Blacksburg, Virginia Tech, and Coppin State, the men's basketball season opener. Folks, it's right around the corner. Monday, November 6th. Can't come soon enough. An 8 p.m. tip-off inside Castle Coliseum. We'll see you there. But for Beran, for Cunningham, for Brown, I'm Heater. We're out. This is Triumph Spotlight on Tech Sideline.